sometimes we'll come out with our level of creativity and they say, this job, fine.
How do you deal, with, different kinds of clients?
Yes.
And then you still get them to your side and not putting them off.
Clients who actually pay much in terms of, okay, come and cover my wedding, and they don't actually stress us as much as people who pay less, but they are all clients. So we treat them equally. We try as much as possible to do the same standard of work as someone paying 10 naira and the next person paying 20 naira.
What is your advice to the Nigerian youth, especially when it comes to SME and starting up a business?
Most people just have the resources. They don't have the skill. So if you want to open stuff like this, you should enroll to learn.
Good afternoon, listeners out there, all over the world, Germany, Kenya, Ghana, Ethiopia, Sudan, all over the world. And here in Nigeria, if you're in your state, Ekiti State, Delta State, Anambra State, we say good afternoon, a warm welcome to the program once again, Timeline, a national orientation and value program for the Nigerian youth. My name remains JJ Ibuku, and I still remain your host on this darling station, Wells Radio, here at the heart of Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Timeline, we are here again this afternoon. We shall be talking about the art of photography and its business as it concerns the economic growth of this nation, Nigeria. I have with me in the studio Theophilus Ogbaigbe. Theophilus Ogbaigbe is the director of Official Guru Media there at Songo, Coca-Cola area. Mr. Theophilus Ogbaigbe, welcome to the studio.
Yeah, thank you very much.
How are you this afternoon?
It's very well.
This is Wells Radio.
Thank you. I'm actually happy to.
How do you see our studio?
Well, it's actually chilled and it's actually nice. I was expecting more and I got more.
You're expecting more and you got more?
Yes.
As a media person,
okay,
are we doing well from what you have seen?
Yes, you guys are actually up there and I'm believing there will be more improvement.
Very well, very well. All right, the art and business of photography to the economic growth of this country called Nigeria. Let's start. What is photography? Or what is the art of photography? If you must ask, like a listener there listening to us and is asking, hey, I want to go into photography, what does it entail?
Okay. Photography, like everyone knows, is the act of making either a still or a motion picture. Because when you talk about photography, you talk about the reflection of what you're about taking. So actually photography can be in two parts. It can actually be in a still form or in motion, simply put.
In a still form or
motion.
In a motion. Okay, now going to the business of photography. If I want to go into photography, or before we go into the business, all right, what are the tools needed to get into photography? I mean, does it only entail my phone? If I have iPhone Plus, iPhone 13 or whatever, is that sufficient for me to go into photography?
Yes, actually, like you asked, when you want to think about going into photography, first thing first, you have to have your tool. And anything can be your tool. It's either you have your phone or you have the camera itself. Anything that can take a reflection of somebody, then you're good to go.
Okay, I must ask, for how long does it take one to be a photographer? If I'm an apprentice, for how long does it? Because looking at you relatively, you are below 40.
Okay.
If I'm correct.
Yes, yeah.
How long did it take you? Probably was it from the university days or when you graduated and then you're like, hey, no job in Nigeria, So how do I find the living for myself? Okay, now the hot and trendy thing now, in the fashion world or in the cinematography world now is pictures. So how do I fend for myself. Let me go into photography. So, how long does it take that young chap listening to us now to get into photography and be a master at it?
Well, first and first, you have to have the passion and desire. First and first, non-job out there. Actually, that's another drive on its own. So if you actually have that drive, looking at it, and mine actually came when I was in the school, that's university. I thought about it. I said, I actually finished from Traditional University of Education.
Okay.
So I told myself, my dad don't have a company which I can bounce back to. So I told myself, what's next after the university? Will I actually go out there and drop my CV and start looking for a job? So that's where that drive came in. That, okay, I really have to find a niche that I can use in surviving after the university days.
Okay. Do you have some residual amount of money in your account, when you ventured into this business? Because I know an average photographer, we have some equipment, that are of today's, that can meet up with today's tech. All right, especially if you're called to take a picture at a wedding. All right, you're not going to go there with some archaic items. All right, so what does it take? How much does it take, for you to start as a starter to say, I want to go into this business after finishing my apprenticeship?
Okay.
On the average, how much can I have?
On the average, well, like I said you need to have it too. When I actually started filming with my Samsung phone. The first thing I actually encourage people, because apart right now I actually teach interns even in the NYC and the rest of it. I tell them, actually master your craft, own that skill. The gadgets can be rented. You don't really have to have that gadget right now. You have to start from somewhere. But just own that skill and that craft, make it your own. After you have it, then you can actually move further. Because if I want to shoot a wedding, like you said, I don't have all the gadgets. I can just go out there, okay, please, I will know that, okay, yes, I'm charging my clients. It is from the money I charge my clients, I'll use in renting those cameras, I'll still see my own personal money inside it. So you don't really have to have that much. All you just have to have is have the drive to learn that skill, master it, and be good at it.
Okay, well, there's one popular palace, all right, in the Nigerian society, especially among the youth, that, okay, now it's because jobs weren't coming, it's because governments weren't providing jobs, it's because I had done interviews, all right, to get white-collar jobs back, and they weren't coming, so I had to do this and I had to do that. And most times you see these people, all right, succeeding eventually in what they do. Does that speak anything to you that young guys out there should not wait for government to provide them jobs, provide them accommodation, provide them this, provide them that, and with a professor that in Senate climes, please permit me to use that word.
Okay.
It is the government that provides all these basic things for them. So why will a Nigerian youth take to my advice to say, hey guy, go create job for yourself especially after he or she has graduated from the school?
Okay, permit me to use this pidgin word. It says, they know the 10 madman say rain the fall. He go feel up. So in essence, looking at the situation we have been faced in Nigeria, the youth have actually lost hope in the government. So as a reasonable youth, you don't need to wait for government to provide you, which we know that is the reason why we voted them in. And they failed at it. So you as a reasonable youth, you have to take that for yourself. Try as much as possible to own something for yourself, so that you don't have to now wait. Fine. After my graduation from school, I actually finding to look for jobs. I actually find it to look for jobs, but jobs was not coming. So I had to just sit back and go back to my drawing board and say, okay, I've actually learned this particular skill. Let me go into it and see how it is. And here we are today, talking about photography.
How do you see photography generating more income, more GDP for the Nigerian nation in the nearest future?
Okay. Actually, photography, we actually do that because looking at everyone is actually going into photography right now, and looking at the kind of money we put in to actually get a gadget.
And the kind of money you guys get from clients.
from clients. Exactly. So that's the thing, because everyone now says, okay, I'm a photographer, I do this, but we as professional photographers, what actually...
I'm sorry to cut you.
Okay.
Sorry, please. And is that not dangerous? Is that not posing a danger to the industry? You know, if everyone says I'm a photographer, just like the social media, now everybody, almost everybody now is a blogger.
Yes.
And also, you find fake news
Everywhere.
You know, everywhere. So, is that not posing a threat to your industry?
Yes, it's actually posing a threat, because I've been in an event to take a particular client that paid us, and I saw a particular lady that came out with an iPhone saying, I need to take this person is my particular person. I was like, please, this is our job. Can you move a bit? You understand? But what is actually differentiates us from that next person is that craft I talked about earlier. The creativity in the world of photography. That's what makes Official Guru Media stand out from the next brand. So actually, those kind of things actually pose a threat to the world of photography, but we try as much as possible to actually curtail it with our products in terms of the output we bring out. If you come out there and say, okay, you're taking this picture and we come and bring you on, the difference is clear. Quantity is actually different from quality.
So now going back to how you guys generate income for their country.
Okay.
Yes.
There's this thing that they do in the US, which they auction artworks, right? And looking at it in terms of photography, that is like a big aspect when it comes to frames and the rest of it. A particular frame can cost as much as 20,000. That is where we photographers generate money from. So looking at it, they actually do a particular artwork in the US as much as $15,000. If Nigeria can get to that aspect of where photographers come out with creative shots, frame them, and we put it out for the highest bidder. So that's one way we can actually move forward in generating funds for the nation as a whole.
So how do you in particular, how do you deal with clients? Because I mean, you're a businessman.
Okay.
And you have different kinds of clients.
Yes.
You know, serious ones, in quote, they are serious ones. The ones that will come to appreciate your work and say, hey, can you do this for me on my wedding, on my birthday, and this? How much will you charge? And they will hesitate to pay you, even above what you have charged. And you have some clients who will come only for them to come hard to, you know, what you're thinking already in terms of we don't have this amount. So how do you deal, you know, with, you know, different kinds of clients?
Yes.
You know, and then you still get them to your side and not putting them off.
Yes. Actually dealing with different types of clients is kind of difficult in this our line of business, because there's this phenomenon trend that says that those who pay little money are the ones that stress us. So most clients who actually pay much in terms of, okay, come and cover my wedding, and they don't actually stress us as much as people who pay less, but they are all clients. So we treat them equally. We try as much as possible to do the same standard of work as someone paying 10 naira and the next person paying 20 naira. We try as much as possible to cut that dichotomy between those two. Not saying, okay, this person paid me this particular amount. I know it's actually not easy dealing with them, because sometimes they are on our neck, frustrating us, saying, okay, I don't like this, I don't like this. sometimes we'll come out with our level of creativity and they say, this job, fine.
Have you disappointed any client before? Because it's becoming a norm now. Most people have been liking you guys to tell us apologies.
Yes, I understand.
Apologies.
I understand.
All right. There has been an incident I have experienced. All right, not personally now, but from a friend, where the retirement, all right, retirement event, something of my friend's dad was taken, all right, by a photographer, a known photographer, to them, all right, and only for them to ask for the pictures, and then the cameraman or the photographer came up with an excuse that he could not find his memory card. A lifetime event. Retirement for that matter.
Wow.
35 years in service. I called you as a photographer to come take what I have done in 35 years, and only for you to say memory card is lost.
Wow.
And after the annoying part is this: full payment has been made. Now memory card is lost. All right. So people are beginning to say, hey, if you want to give your clothes to a typical Nigerian tailor, all right, and you're gonna wear it next month, tell him you're wearing it tomorrow. Okay. And some photographers now, we have them. If you want to now tell him, don't let your memory card get lost, or what you do is I won't pay you when you submit my stuff to me, my project to me, my pictures to me, then I'll pay you. So how do you see that?
That's actually sometimes that happens. There are some things that is beyond our control.
Should that happen?
No, professionally.
Especially when you have, especially when I've paid you. Especially, you can see the way my producer looked at me.
I understand.
Especially if I paid you 100%.
I understand.
And you say that happens.
I understand. A similar situation have actually happened to us a particular time. We actually deleted a particular part. And we're looking for, okay, where's this part? Because that bride was like, you guys took this particular part. And I was very sure that...
detailed that you guys took it.
You understand? Because it actually got to the point where some people who paid for this will be like, please, let me just see this picture you just took. People are like so curious to, let me see. So immediately their eyes is on it.
Yes,
that is the particular one they want to.
Yeah.
So that has happened to us before, and the folder was off. So we had to look for a way to replace it with other pictures. We had to apologize. But in a situation where your memory card is getting lost, that should not happen ever.
So you're saying in essence that it could be a one-off thing.
Yes.
That it could be a one-off thing that
yes.
happens. Well, professional hazards, something like that. Okay.
Exactly.
Well, what is your advice?
Okay.
To the Nigerian youths?
Okay.
Especially when it comes to SME and starting up a business.
Okay.
All right. Generally, what's your advice?
My advice, firstly, is you should have the drive. The passion should actually move you to want to open. Not because you see that, okay, the next person is actually opening this thing and you go into it. Most people just have the resources. Most people just have the resources, they don't have the skill. So if you want to open stuff like this, you should enroll to learn first. Back then, there used to be this thing of you go and learn under someone and you will gain freedom. But I hardly see stuffs like that happening now. Everybody just wants to just have that money and just choke. So my advice for them is have the drive, learn the skill before you invest into it.
My guest, my wonderful guest at that has been Theophilus Ogbaigbe, Director of Official Guru Media, Songo Coca-Cola. And the topic has been the art and business of photography as it concerns the economic growth of Nigeria. Till I come your way again next week, my name remains JJ Bukun, and like I always say, God bless this country called Nigeria. Bye for now.